Go.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to a special broadcast of the NC Sports Report, Smoky Mountain Conference Report. Tonight, we are dedicating this show to and celebrating Coach David Gentry, head coach of the Murphy Bulldogs, who on Friday night got the 413th career win of his career over the Swain County Maroon Devils and became the winningest coach in North Carolina high school football history. Now, we want to thank our sponsors for tonight, Circuit World of Murphy, for allowing us to broadcast live here, and also to our food and beverage sponsors, which are Downtown Pizza and Pepsi. Now, I've got J.R. Carroll, the voice of the Murphy Bulldogs, joining me on the couch again tonight, and we've got over here the voice of the Andrews Wildcats, Scott Fletcher, and then we've got down here on the end of the sofa here, Bill Gaither, who was an assistant coach under Coach Gentry for many years. And this room is just packed with many people who are here to celebrate and appreciate Coach Gentry for what he has done over the course of his career. So, Coach Gentry, congratulations, and we are glad to have you here tonight.
Thank you. I'm very proud to be here.
Well, thank you so much, sir. And now, JR and Scott, I'm just going to kind of get out of the way and let you guys take it over because you always host our show here, and let y'all do your thing.
All righty.
Coach, first of all, congratulations. And first question I got to ask you, it had to be just a little bit sweeter winning it at Swain.
Sure it was. Swain's our arch rival.
Right.
They're probably the only arch rival we have. We have other rivals, but not quite like Swain.
Hadn't been there for 20, 25 years.
Yeah, they've been there a long time
yeah.
since I've been here. We played Swain, and we played them before that too. But we about come even with them, down through the years. It's been awfully hard, difficult for us to win over there. It's been difficult for them to win over here. But
right.
When you get the 400 mark over here last year
against
versus
them,
Swain,
yeah,
and you go 4-13 against them over there, it was quite the treat, I would say.
You hadn't woke up yet, though, right?
Yeah, I have woke up. We got a game tomorrow.
Okay.
Trying to tell you that.
Okay. We're going to take a break, then we're going to introduce everybody here because we got a lot of people here that had a part in this road, and maybe somebody that can be reached on the phone that had a part in this earlier than that. And we'll be back to take care of that right after this.
The underdog. The long shot. The nobody from nowhere, never gonna happen in your dreams, kid. 100 to 1 shot. We know something about that. That putting your feet on that path to greatness and grinding it out day after day is a long, long road that can lead you to the promised land. And that's why we believe. We're with you every step of the way.
Circuit World has complete queen bedroom packages at amazing prices. Get this queen bed, dresser and mirror, one nightstand, bedding set, and free 32-inch TV, all for only $1799.99 or $129.99 a month. Or get this complete queen bedroom set and sleep in style, also for only $1799.99 or $129.99 a month. What an incredible deal! Stop in today at one of our 5 locations and get the furniture you've always wanted at Circuit World.
I'm Jeff Riblett, President of Asset Protection Group. As a certified financial planner and with 20 years experience, I've helped thousands of families and business owners create a tremendous amount of wealth. Fortunately, most of that wealth has been protected. Don't allow an unforeseen life event, such as a nursing home stay or the next market meltdown, destroy your family's wealth. Be smart. Call me. Let's determine how best to protect your assets and preserve your wealth.
Circuit World has 9-piece living room packages at incredible prices. Get this stylish sofa and love seat, 3 tables, 2 lamps, 43-inch 4K TV, and stand, all for only $1699.99 or $129.99 a month. Or get this 9-piece living room and reclining sofa and reclining love seat, now only $1999.99 or $149.99 a month. These packages are amazing. Stop in today at one of our 5 locations and get the furniture you've always wanted at Circuit World.
Welcome back. Coach, we'd like to take, at Murphy High School, we'd like to think, you were our coach all 4-13, but that wasn't necessarily the case. You coached up in Virginia, and then you got to come back home, coach at Eddyville.
Right.
In fact, first time I met you was at a playoff game when you played Hayesville.
That's true.
And I think you had a quarterback there that night. Later became a coach for you.
Yeah.
Dean, you want to say hello to Coach?
Good afternoon, Coach.
Hey, Dean, how are you?
How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. You're very much a part of this. You know that.
Well, I've had some good times. I tell you, the opportunity to work over there and work with you certainly led to me having a more successful career than I would have without that opportunity.
Dean, I was talking to Coach when he came here. I did that game on the radio, and all I remember is calling your name most of the night. But it didn't really hit me until later, after you'd been here a year or two, that it's the same guy. So, but yeah, I think I was 22 back then. That's precious memories, what I call those. But
I'm surprised you can remember.
Me and you both. But Dean Jones, he was your quarterback at Eddyville.
Yes.
And you, how deep did you go to playoffs that year?
We lost the semifinals.
Okay. But that's the first time they'd been to the playoffs in a while, wasn't it?
Yeah, for a long time, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
we've been to the playoff earlier, but
Okay.
maybe about 7 years earlier. No.
Dean,
Yes,
good
sir.
to talk to you, and I appreciate you taking your time out of the night to give us a call so we can say hello to Coach Gentry.
Yes, sir.
Thank you,
Once
Dean.
again, congratulations, Coach. I appreciate everything you ever done for me. You've always been like a second dad, and congratulations.
Thank you, Dean. I really appreciate the text you sent me the other day.
All right. I love you, Coach.
Love you.
Well, Coach, you went from there and you ended up in Murphy, North Carolina.
Yeah.
And you had some assistants when you got here. You had one when you got here anyway.
Yes.
Or you hired him. You hired him pretty soon after you got here.
Right.
He had quit for a while.
Yes.
And that was this gentleman sitting beside you right
It's
here.
Wayne Watson.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I have to keep reminding Wayne he was my 8th grade science teacher. And
Probably don't want to
and
remember that.
And Wayne keeps telling me to shut up about it every time I do.
Don't worry.
Did you pass that grade?
He failed 6th grade.
Barely.
Just like-
Barely. I stayed in trouble a lot.
Yeah.
He was 24 when he graduated high school. Don't let him
He put me in charge of the weather station and fired me about halfway through the year. But he was there when you got there, and then a couple years later, this big old boy from Alabama showed up.
1 year later.
Yeah, 1 year later.
Yeah.
This big old boy from Alabama, talk slow, walk slow. The only time he got in a hurry is when lightning come across the hill, and he could beat everybody up the hill then.
Yeah.
And that was this other gentleman over here, Mr. Bill Gaither.
You keep pointing over it.
Yeah.
You keep pointing.
Why don't you, I'm just going to back out of the way and let you guys talk about some of the things that happened those first few years y'all had to work through, and some of the funnier moments that you went through? And
Well, we can't tell a lot of those moments on the air.
okay.
I've basically, the reason we've had success here at Murphy is because of my assistant coaches. They've been with me a long time. I talked to Bill Gentry. He's coached with me at 20. Wayne, how many years have you been? 18, 19, maybe
20 something.
20. Yes.
Who counts him?
I don't know. It's
But Wayne didn't quit till his son got ready to come coach.
right.
So,
Showed up. No, I came here and I didn't know anybody here, and they'd already had my varsity staff. They said, you got to work with these people. And then somebody come by and told me and said, okay, there's a young man down there that hadn't been coaching. His name is Wayne Watson. I think he's a real good coach. So you might need him to help you. And I said, okay. I said, I went down and talked to Wayne. I said, Wayne, you know, my varsity staff's already set. I said, but I'd really like for you to do the junior high staff. And he said, okay, because he'd been out of coaching. I think he'd coached.
Been out 2 years.
2 years, and so he came back. And it didn't take me long. We're looking at that ninth grade team, and he didn't belong on the ninth grade program. And so we made arrangements next year that he was going to be on my staff, and he was glad to come up. And we hired Bill Gaither out of Georgia.
of course, now let's clarify things a little bit, Wayne. I'm going to take a little wind out of your sails. I think your 8th grade class on that freshman team was the teams that went 29-1 their junior and senior years. Was
Some
that?
of them, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, some
So
of
you
them
had some good Jimmy and Joes
Oh,
on
yeah,
that team.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you can't win without two things: good coaches, good players.
Right.
And we've been very fortunate to do both of those. Bill Gaither's when he came in, he became my defensive coordinator and offensive line coach.
That's because you didn't want to get cussed but one time being the offense coordinator. You said, you need me to be defense coordinator. I said, I don't coach defense. You said, yeah, but you got to on Friday night. So I didn't cuss you.
Well, we had to do something with you on Friday night.
Yeah.
But he was basically, when we got him, he was basically, I guess, an offensive line coach. He came out, and it really helped us out because he came out of a really wing tee high school that really knew how to run the wing tee, and he knew how to run it. And then eventually we sold out with it, and then I did make him defensive coordinator because I was not a defensive coordinator, never had been. I always been on the offensive side of the ball, so I always needed somebody. So Bill Gaither was the man.
Yeah.
And he became a legend in this state as a defensive coordinator.
As a legend with some of his short.
Legend in more than one way,
Yes.
I would think. But
Well,
he was a legend in football, and Wayne was my offensive. He was my receiver coach and our defensive back coach. So we stayed together for 20 years or so, and that just solidified our staff. And Rick Hickey came, I think, the next year. Coach, we get Rick, and Rick's been in and out. Now Rick's back with me.
Yeah.
And so my players and the coaches have kind of stayed with me.
Yeah, Rick had what was on his tail light.
He had a saran wrap or something on a tape on his tail light when he came in, and he didn't have a lot of money, but he had tape on his tail light. But I think he's got a little bit more money now than he had.
But he worked awful good, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
He was a
He
good
still
fit
does.
with us.
He still does.
Yeah,
Still
he was a
does.
good fit.
And so this first staff here was that they won a lot of games.
Right.
We won a lot of games together. So
Yeah, I think we were talking before the show started. Your first year, you were 4 and 4.5 or something.
no, we're 4-5-1.
4, 5, and 1.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then I hired Wayne and Gaither and
No, you were 4 and 6. Then we went 4, 5, and 1. We was
okay,
only good for half a
four-
game.
Yeah, y'all said you're always good for
Good
half.
for half a game.
So no matter what I did, I had a half a
You got
game.
to have a game one before the
And,
season started. Okay.
I was half a game better anyway.
And the third year, I think you lost the first 3 ball games
Yes.
and won the next, 8?
8.
And then the next 2 years, you went 29 won back-to-back state championships. And that's when the coaching of Jimmy and Joe's come together them 2 years.
Yes. Have very good talent, and some of them in this room.
Yeah.
They're very good football players and good men, good coaches.
Amen to that.
Coach, during those first 20 years of coaching, there had to be one game or maybe a couple of games that sort of stood out to you, that something happened in it. I was around for a lot of them, but I didn't, as far as your viewpoint, what stood out? Well, a couple of those games that just stood out.
I told my boys today, we're playing Rosman. And my quarterbacks, and I got a lot of those. I really don't have a lot of quarterbacks, but I've got a lot of kids that come up to quarterbacks. We always have our meetings after the practice. So,
Right.
I only had really one quarterback, but till I got Eric Lane's boy back in the freshman. But we kind of so other kids come up and say, okay, I'm gonna get in the quarterback meeting. So I always tell them a story during the quarterback meeting, and I told them a story about the Rosman game in 1984. We'd beaten Swain at Swain to win a conference championship right at the end of the game.
Right.
1985, had a very good team, should have won the state championship.
Yep.
So they had the people to do that with. And we went into the Rosman game. I think our kids were not prepared, and I don't know where we were prepared to play that game. They were a very good football team, but we were better. And I think we were beating them 19-6, and late in the third quarter, and they drove the ball down there and scored. I think it was 19-13 or something like that. And I said, well, nobody pushed the panic button. But they kicked off to us, and all we needed was one first down and time run out.
Right.
We didn't get the first down, punted to them. They drove the ball down to the 1 yard line. And that was probably the play that a lot of people remember.
Yep.
In Murphy High School.
Yep.
They snapped the ball, fumbled it, back kicked it, and they said they recovered in the end zone. All the Rosman people said they did, and all the Murphy people said they didn't. So,
Right.
But the referees was the deciding factor of that one, and they did, and they won the game. And
you know, Coach, that year, I think you sort of started this Swain rivalry thing.
I don't know where I started or not.
Well, I'm just going to tell you how. Swain County, they were picked to beat us badly over there that night. And if I remember, a sophomore wide receiver limped into the end zone about 2 seconds left.
Yes, he did.
And we beat them that night.
Yeah.
And that began the Deach Gentry feud.
Right.
Well, that started a long time ago when we didn't throw the football
Okay.
before that. And I think Coach threw it, maybe 14 times. Swain came out and said it was a passing team then. He started the passing offense in the Smoky Mountain Conference.
Smoky wasn't good. And there's a guy in San Diego that, what was his name, Cordell or
Don Cordell.
that was the coach, and he was supposed to be the passing genius, and they were laughing about that. They'd beat us like 38-35 over there.
Mm-hmm.
And but we played each other twice back then,
Right.
you know.
Right.
And they came back over. I think we beat them 28-7 when they came back over. So we kind of showed them that maybe we could play a little football.
Yeah. Yeah. We went traveling with the team on some of those state playoff games. You go into a lot of these towns, and they'd sort of get looked down on. They'd sort of laugh at us a little bit their first year. I don't think they laughed too much the second year we showed up. They didn't want to see us coming.
Right.
But it was real good. And we need to take a little break, and we'll be right back.
the underdog. The long shot. The nobody from nowhere, never gonna happen in your dreams, kid. 100 to 1 shot. We know something about that. That putting your feet on that path to greatness and grinding it out day after day is a long, long road that can lead you to the promised land. And that's why we believe. We're with you every step of the way.
Circuit World has complete queen bedroom packages at amazing prices. Get this queen bed, dresser and mirror, one nightstand, bedding set, and free 32-inch TV, all for only $1799.99 or $129.99 a month. Or get this complete queen bedroom set and sleep in style, also for only $1799.99 or $129.99 a month. What an incredible deal! Stop in today at one of our 5 locations and get the furniture you've always wanted at Circuit World.
I'm Jeff Riblett, President of Asset Protection Group. As a certified financial planner and with 20 years experience, I've helped thousands of families and business owners create a tremendous amount of wealth. Fortunately, most of that wealth has been protected. Don't allow an unforeseen life event, such as a nursing home stay or the next market meltdown, destroy your family's wealth. Be smart. Call me. Let's determine how best to protect your assets and preserve your wealth.
Welcome back with Coach David Gentry. Coach, you had such good assistants when you started out at Murphy. You couldn't find any guys that were able to replace these guys. So you just went out and made your own.
Yeah, it's kind of homegrown.
Yeah.
They came. They were our players.
We want to go over here. Guys, if I get some of the years wrong, forgive me. 85, 86, 87 football years, the 2 back-to-back state champions.
That's right.
Eric Quinky.
The get-back coach.
And he's the get-back coach.
Been coaching with Coach Gentry since 1994, after I got back from college.
And the only thing I found wrong with Eric, he's a Carolina fan, but that's okay.
Easy.
Careful now.
Well, and the other one here is James Show. James is coaching now. He played on the 85, 86 team, and he was Gaither's poster boy. Gaither tell him that's the best defensive end I've ever seen. But anyway, James also has a young man that just graduated last year from that state championship team that Coach Gentry coached, and he's now at the University of North Carolina.
He is.
Go Tar Heels.
Okay.
But the old man did make me look good as a defense coordinator.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm proud to say, I had 2 state championships, and my son has 2 state championships. So between the two of us, there's 4 in our house, and a couple of rings from helping coach, so it's I've enjoyed the time being around.
And who's the best athlete in your house?
We'll talk about that later.
Hold that up for us. Hold that up.
Thomas Nelson. Thomas, give me the years. You got to help me out.
I played at Murphy High School from '89 to '93.
And had one state championship in that?
One state championship, one undefeated season.
That was the year we beat the eventual state champion, I think 50-0 in the regular season, correct?
Yeah, 44.
40, okay,
Yeah,
all right,
44.
all right.
I remember
And Thomas, you're now the defensive coordinator, correct?
Defensive coordinator.
Okay. You ever call Bill for a little advice every now and then?
I do, and I try to follow in his footsteps. One of the proudest moments for me is the fact that I went to Murphy High School, and I played for all these coaches down here, and I know these guys in a different light as far as how much they do for the students and their players other than coaching.
Funny you should say that, and I'm going to take a little break from the coaching. Lisa Lindsay.
Hey, get her name right, would you?
Lisa Fletcher, excuse me.
Thank you.
Would you please step forward just a minute? I'm going to get the mic over to you.
All right. I didn't do this. You're not blaming me, correct?
Nope. She told me something
Come
one
on
time,
over here.
and she was fussing. She was fussing about after she went to Andrews. Some of her coaches not following up on the students as much as they should. And she had one man that she set their standard that they were judged by, and he's sitting right here.
Yes.
Am I correct?
You are correct.
Tell the story about that.
So, Coach Gentry, one of the things that I love about Coach Gentry and that I tell coaches to do, and they do this, and I'm proud of them, but I got this from Coach Gentry. He would come weekly and check on students' grades and students' attendance. And if they were not performing well, he would go get them from class and let them know they will start performing well and see how he could help them perform well, because his players were going to be good academically. And I love that, because
and that's that's the standard you give your coaches to go by when they
it
start
is.
up there.
It is. It is.
And just want to bring that out. All right, let's come on around.
Thank you. All right. Let's hand this right around. We got plenty of cord here.
Gary Thompson. Gary is the offensive line coach. And Gary, you've been with Coach Gentry how long?
Started on the JV staff in '02 and been on varsity staff since 2010. Actually, when we started going back to state championships. But
little boy there, Gary.
no, just saying.
Stating the facts, sorry. Just the facts.
Learn everything I know from Coach Gaither, Coach Gentry. Still running the same rules on offense that Coach Gaither did back in '83,
Okay.
'4.
Okay. While you're breaking that up, I'm going to tell a little story.
Okay.
1987, I think it was. Yeah, 87. We lost to Swain County in a conference championship game. Only game that team lost in 2 years. You went to a conference meeting the next week, didn't you, Bill?
We went. Did I go with you, Davis? Yeah, that was one of them.
Got there, and I think some Swain hats were laid up on your placard as you walked in. Am I correct? And as the all conference selections were being made, head coach of Swain boys teach that time would hop up every time. I had to did pretty good against Murphy that position last Friday night. Well, as the story goes, about the fourth or fifth time he did it, somebody stood up before his face and said, 2 weeks. 2 weeks. And we heard that he got back to Murphy that Monday evening for practice. And even though we played Hendersonville that coming up week, Hendersonville wasn't that good that year. That was one of the years they had off. He instituted a little defense called the Swain Special. I think we still do that from time to time, don't we?
You'll have to ask Coach Nelson about that. I handle offensive line.
I think we still do that from time to time, don't we?
But
and I gave the G version of the way that conversation went. Okay.
Quick story. One of my memories of Coach Gaither and Coach Gentry was in '03. I was on the JV staff. My son was a sophomore on the varsity, and we were in 3 overtimes at Polk County. Coach has got a timeout going into the third overtime. I'm down there dying. Coach Gaither's strolling towards me. Coach Gentry's hollering, "Coach, Coach, Coach." I'm like, "Coach Gaither, he's hollering at you." He knows my damn name. He ain't gonna listen to me no how. And I'm like, okay. And I'm privileged to be on the staff. Blessed to be on the staff.
And okay. For several years, we ran the solid wing tee at Murphy High School.
Yes, sir.
We didn't. And I'm moving it over to the next guy next to you here.
Okay.
The only one that I've ever seen get him to change a little bit, and
Coach Gaither still ain't happy.
I come out to the first game that season, and we broke out in the spread, and I thought Coach Gentry had a breakdown or something. I didn't know what was going on. I think that's I think that's to do with this guy right here,
Well,
Joseph Watson.
Before he starts, that's one thing I'd like to say. David was always open. He never was closed-minded on anything you brought to him. Anything me and Wayne brought up, he'd go with it, you know. And if we said this is the way we want to do it, he said, all right, fine, we'd go. I mean, he only coached the quarterbacks. That's all he coached. I mean, he got one player. So what was he going to say, you know?
But when the spread broke out, I thought I was watching a different football team. What happened, Joseph? I mean,
well, JR, it wasn't all me. I had a part in it, but Caesar Campana was there too when we started this, and you know, it's still the wing tee. It's just we back up just a little bit. Hopefully, we got those guys to. Hopefully, you get in the shotgun, and you know what defenses do when you get in the shotgun. They're like, oh, okay, they're in the shotgun. They're going to throw it, maybe. Not always like that, JR. But yeah, it was different, and we did.
Well, it still wasn't bad as Coach Fox used to be.
No.
His wide out was wide blocker.
That's right. They send a guy out there with a broke arm to play wide receiver.
And we guarded him.
Yeah, you got to guard him, man. You got to go out there and guard him. But
you never know.
It is different, and Coach Gaither is correct. Coach, that's a great thing about Coach Gentry. He's able to adapt on today's football game. He can adapt, and he can he can grow and continue to learn. He's 70, Coach, I'm not going to say it, 70-something. But he continues to learn today. I mean, we learn new things. We try new things daily, and he's always open to try it. You know, when this new, RPO rage came, we did it. We did it last year. Coach Nelson's son, Micah, is awesome at it. And when you have a athletic quarterback, you got to use them. And I wish we had it when I was playing. I would have loved that.
They
didn't. What's that, Gary?
They were athletic.
Yeah.
I let Coach Nelson get by without mentioning Micah. I didn't want to embarrass him, but now the athlete of that family, they still ain't graduated from Murphy High School. They still there.
Right. She's pretty good too, JR. She is very good.
Good story about that one. I coached Pee Wees when this.
I'm sorry about that, Jay.
Now don't blame me for it. This group that just graduated was coming up. We was playing Robbinsville. We were losing. Robbinsville had a girl on the team. So my wife, she was going to be the big halftime speech, going to get them all going. So she had said, "You don't want to lose to a girl, do you?" And she looks over at Micah and she says, "Micah, you won't want to lose to Grace." Grace looks up there. Micah looks up there and said, "Grace pretty tough."
Yes, she is.
So I had to walk off.
She absolutely is, JR. You're right.
JR, you need to tell when Joseph played. You didn't tell that.
94 to 97. 94, 97. State championship, 96. Got beat in the state championship game, 15 to 14 when I was a sophomore. 14-13, that's right. We went for two in the fog and didn't get it. And
since we're talking about changing the offense, and I want to let the Murphy fans know that if I can get just two more spring breaks with Coach Gentry and Joseph and Wayne here at Panama City, the Murphy Bulldogs are going to break out the Notre Dame box. I can see it. I'm trying to talk them into it. Every spring break, I try to talk them into it. You know, Coach, 4th and 1.
Okay,
let's go, Scott, Notre Dame box. Let's go now.
I'm gonna tell you one offense that will not fly at Murphy because it's gonna have a negative connotation every time you mention it.
What's that?
The veer.
I'm not going to talk. We're not talking about the beer tonight. We're talking about the Notre Dame Bucks, baby.
And Coach, we probably take both a little break.
Hold on just a second, Michael. Hold on before we go to break. Team FYN Sports always highlighting and promoting young athletes in a positive way. We're just so excited to just be a part of this. We walked away and said, hey, let's give it to these guys. All of you deserve it, and enjoying yourself so much. We want to thank Circuit World here in Murphy. We appreciate them so much. Downtown Pizza for a meal, Pepsi for our drinks, and again, thank you, Circuit World. They set this big TV up today, the slideshow, and our graphics department. I got a quick question, Coach, before we leave and go to break myself. Tell me a little bit about, and the fans out there, how has the game changed? I mean, throughout the years, a coach with 413 wins, you've been 413 wins, you've been part of rule changes throughout your coaching. You've been a part of meetings with rule changes. How has the game changed throughout the years? Tell us a little bit about that from your early beginning to up to now.
Well, it's got a lot more wide open than what it used to be. But I think everybody, and we go to spread, and we've passed the ball quite a bit. You know, we've had some real good quarterbacks and receivers since we've been there. Probably had the best receivers probably in this Western Africa out of this state, or certainly out of Western North Carolina. Some real good quarterbacks down through the years, good receivers. But it's been spread out a whole lot. But every time it spreads out, it seems like for us, we always go back to our roots. And so last year's state championship, during that run, we went back to the wing tee. You know, so it's all right to go back. It's still good football.
Before we take a break, let me ask you a question, because I made sure I positioned myself where I could run. You know, once I asked this with these big football players, which one of these guys did you have to ride the most in practice? Which one did you just every once in a while just shake your head?
Damn Branky over there.
Which one was it, Coach?
I didn't have to ride any of these. You don't have to ride good people.
Hey, folks, we're good.
Before we go, we need to introduce another quarterback with the state championship team.
Come on in. He was. Come on
in.
And get in the picture over here for me.
Just to let y'all know, and Jeremiah told me to say this. He's the good-looking Brinky.
That's true. That's true. Thank you, JR. I appreciate that.
Boy, oh boy. These two are brothers, by the way, if you didn't figure that out.
So you're going to tell his years?
But Jeremiah, what years were you there?
I was quarterback while I was behind Joseph in 1995. Then 96, the state title team, I handed the ball off really well. And then in 97 and 98, I also quarterbacked those teams.
Yeah, y'all also lost to Hayesville, too, by the way. Let's point that out.
Yeah, we did. My brother is also known as the Pylon King. Just review the films.
Count as a taco, though.
If you're the first one to do it.
As you can tell, these guys have a good camaraderie with each other. But all right, Brian, we'll let you take that break now.
Let's take that break. Let's take,
Well,
guys.
wait a minute before.
Oh no! Wait a minute. Well, how late we staying?
You were talking about Circuit World, and we want to do something before we leave.
Okay.
Marvin, will you come over here, please? Well, you're gonna find out when you get over here.
Come on over here, Marvin.
I don't belong.
Yes, you do. For right now, you do. I'm gonna get out of the way so you can get in here with Coach.
Good.
Marvin, glad you give us this opportunity, and we're going to give you this certificate from Murphy High School Athletics, acknowledging the generous contribution you have made toward the safety of the players of Murphy High School. You hereby award this certificate in appreciation to Circuit World. Thank you so much for your
You're
donation.
certainly welcome. And I want to congratulate you on your accomplishment. I don't know any words to describe it, but except just
You've enjoyed the ride, hadn't you, Marvin?
I've enjoyed the ride.
And I have too, Marvin. I'm right there with you.
And you've got a lot of good
people
that's helped you out, and you know that was your first house right there, you know, and then from Wayne to Joseph, Gary, and all of them.
Yeah, it's been a real good step. I said before, you can't win any championships or do any numbers unless you have great coaches and good players, and this is good players and great coaches.
That's true, and you've got a great defensive coach. You know, I think he's done an outstanding job after Gaither left. You know,
he's done better.
You think he's done better? I don't.
No, I'm just following in the footsteps.
All he knew was defense, and that's just go ball. Go get him.
I know better than that.
Pretty effective when it comes.
Anyhow, I know it was a joint effort. You know, you have to have all the good people behind you, but you have, after all, somebody has to be in charge and put it all together.
Amen.
And you're the man that did it.
Thank you very much.
Did an awesome job.
Okay, on that note, we're going to go ahead and take our break. Okay, we're not done tonight, folks. Yes, sir.
I'd like to thank Cale Curtis over there. He's one of the biggest Bulldog supporters, and he was in on this, and his idea, and
so we're going to say yes, sir. We say it. We thank Circuit World. We appreciate Circuit World here at FetcherNews.com, Team FYN Sports, and your support of the team. And Kel can talk a little football. You get him over now. He can get.
Two of the greatest leaders we've had.
And so we got to take that break again. Downtown Pizza, Pepsi. Thank you very much. Let's take a little break. We're not going away, folks. We'll be right back after these short messages.
Right off the cuff right there. Now.
I thought that's so.
Takes down Carolina, and the Bourbon Paladins have defeated
The underdog. The long shot. The nobody from nowhere, never gonna happen in your dreams, kid. 100 to 1 shot. We know something about that. that putting your feet on that path to greatness and grinding it out day after day is a long, long road that can lead you to the promised land. And that's why we believe. We're with you every step of the way.
Circuit World has complete queen bedroom packages at amazing prices. Get this queen bed, dresser and mirror, one nightstand, bedding set, and free 32-inch TV, all for only $1799.99 or $129.99 a month. Or get this complete queen bedroom set and sleep in style, also for only $1799.99 or $129.99 a month. What an incredible deal! Stop in today at one of our 5 locations and get the furniture you've always wanted at Circuit World.
I'm Jeff Riblett, President of Asset Protection Group. As a certified financial planner and with 20 years experience, I've helped thousands of families and business owners create a tremendous amount of wealth. Fortunately, most of that wealth has been protected. Don't allow an unforeseen life event, such as a nursing home stay or the next market meltdown, destroy your family's wealth. Be smart. Call me. Let's determine how best to protect your assets and preserve your wealth.
Circuit World has 9-piece living room packages at incredible prices. Get this stylish sofa and love seat, 3 tables, 2 lamps, 43-inch 4K TV, and stand, all for only $1699.99 or $129.99 a month. Or get this 9-piece living room and reclining sofa and reclining love seat, now only $1999.99 or $149.99 a month. These packages are amazing. Stop in today at one of our 5 locations and get the furniture you've always wanted at Circuit World.
Hey, welcome back. You are watching this week's episode of NC Sports Report, Smoky Mountain Conference Report, a special broadcast here tonight live from Circuit World of Murphy as we are celebrating head coach of the Murphy Bulldogs, David Gentry. Coach, thank you for being here tonight. And we've been talking this whole show about what an influence you've been to all of these guys who are here to celebrate you. And so we just want to say again from Team FYN Sports, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Now, JR, Scott, let y'all take it away.
Well, I sort of stole the mic from Scott all night.
That's all right. That's all right.
I sort of feel a little guilty.
Well, you stole my helmet too.
I didn't steal your helmet, brother. I buried your helmet.
No, you took my helmet. I figured when you took my helmet, I couldn't say nothing.
Okay.
So I've been quiet. So
now, I do want to take a moment to introduce Ms. Riz Kelly Gentry, who is joining us here on the sofa, the wife of Coach David Gentry. Now, Coach, I do want to ask you a question real quick since your lovely wife is joining us. How much of an influence and a support has she been for you over all of these years?
Well, she's been a great support. She takes a lot of credit. See, she reminds me quite a bit.
Let me help him out though. She makes a heck of a bowl of chili.
She reminds me. I think we started in 1985. In 1986, we got married, and that's when we started the state championship. So,
do the math.
It's been a good.
It wasn't on
It wasn't on Gary. It's been a good. No, seriously, and these people with me know that the wives of these people, these coaches, have to be special people. Every coach in here has coached 70 hours a week in season, and so it takes a lot of dedication and support at home. If you don't get that dedication and support at home, then you can't be successful on the field at which job. And every one of our wives have been dedicated to. They have to be married to the program, just like you are. And she has been that, and she's helped me in every way, and she coaches a little bit too. So, but she watches film, and she hangs in there with us, and so she's very knowledgeable. But mostly, I appreciate her support that she's given us.
He got me a shirt one time that said, we interrupt this marriage to bring you the football season. And that's so true.
But I got to tell this story on Kelly.
Hold on.
Anytime you start a sentence with that, everybody over here is like.
I haven't even told you about James Hope's famous patch catch down in Rayburn County. We'll get to that later. But anyway, there was a player that scored the 2-point conversion last Friday night. First time he showed up at Murphy schools was in the middle school. Miss Gentry was the counselor, I believe. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And this young man had never played football in his life. Guess who recruited him?
I know talent. And every time
that's the number one thing you got to be a coach. You got to know talent.
Every time he mentions him, I would say, "You're welcome."
We're talking about Devontae Murray. Yes. And the young man, I think he started his football career in the 8th grade on the JV team at Murphy High School, and that's the first time he'd ever touched football in his life. And he's turned into a pretty good back.
Mm-hmm. Real good.
And the other one that came along, Kelly didn't really. I begged his mother to let him play when he was smaller, but she never would until he got in high school, and that was Yusuf Moogerbill. Would not let him play till he got to the JV program. But he's turned out pretty good. And by the way, Gary, he showed like he was a man there Friday night on that 2-point conversion.
Good coaching.
Locked down.
But Coach, we're sort of giving you a trip down memory lane, but I just want to make one thing perfectly clear. You got 7 more wins to get this year, okay?
Yeah, there's always another number. Everybody.
Yeah, but you got 7 more for this year.
7 more this year?
Okay. I think we get a bye the first if we're number 1 seed in the playoffs, right? So we got 4 in the playoffs.
Yeah, you have to be number 1, about number 1.
Well, we're going to get there.
Well, I'll tell you, JR, we beat Swain County for 4-13, which was huge.
Yep.
We meet on Sundays. We're playing Rosman, which is struggling a little bit this year.
Yep.
Not the best team out there. We had a 4.5-hour coaches meeting for Rosman.
Gary,
Sunday.
I know you're a Tennessee fan, but I know you watched the Georgia-South Carolina game. Did I say it?
He don't have 4-13 wins for overlooking anybody.
Right. And these guys, I've got time. I've got to tell this story, James. I just can't let this slide.
Y'all don't have a commercial
James
break?
senior year, we were playing Rayburn County down in Georgia. And Bill Gaither gets more excited about this than anything. James is playing tight end, and he caught a pass. And it was the longest pass in Murphy High School history.
Longest run.
Longest time to run it, exactly. James catches the pass, and Mel Nicely and Carl Pickens are running circles around him down the sidelines trying to keep people off of him as he goes down.
They are rough on you.
Hard on me.
But the next week, we were sitting up in the press box at a JV
What was
game.
the end results? What was the end results of that play? You got them circling. What happened?
He got a first down. He didn't score, but he got a first down.
Well, then give him credit.
Okay.
Thank you, Coach.
Hey, give him credit.
But these guys have had a lot of fun, and there's been some heartache too. I mean, it hasn't been all roses, but through thick and thin, we've stuck through it pretty well all the way through. And I can speak from some health issues that I've had over the years. Murphy's athletic program's always been there for me every time I had one. When you get in this bunch, it's a family. And I'll just leave it at that. I'm going to get choked up if I keep going here, so I'll just hush.
Football is family. Well, does anybody have anything else they'd like to say, share about Coach Gentry? We got a little bit of time left.
I'll share something.
All right, go Scott.
We've heard a lot tonight about all these victories that Coach Gentry's had. That's not why I like him so much. I like him, and I told him earlier we were going to talk about this, so now's a good time. If you go into his house, I think I saw it there. There's a framed picture. Actually, my junior high coach told me every time I go to Hendersonville, which is home, which is where he's from, I met Gary Patillo over there, and he always asked me, "How's David Gentry? How's David Gentry?" I said, "Oh, Coach is doing good. He's doing real good." He said, "You know, he was my hero when I was young." And I said, "Really? Tell me why." He said, "Well, if you're from Edneyville, you looked up David Gentry." He said, one time, the Hendersonville Times News had this headline that said, "Gentry 39, Bearcats 32, Edneyville wins 42-32. He outscored the Hendersonville Bearcats in a basketball game all by himself. 4-13 wins is nice, but in my world, if you can beat the Bearcats by yourself, that puts you on a whole nother level. Because while these people have this rivalry with Swain, and Coach does too, I don't worry about them. Me and Coach don't like the Bearcats. And so anytime you can beat the Bearcats by yourself,
Hey, Scott, he did a pretty good job beating them in football, too.
I know. And if we could beat them in tiddlywinks, that'd be good, too. But anyways, that's why, he was an athlete of all sports. So.
Since he brought that up, this brought
They're
another
wrapping us
question.
up. They're wrapping us up.
Well, I got one question. Then we'll go. 86 playoffs. Third round. We faced that old nemesis of yours from way back. Hendersonville. They come to town with an NFL caliber back in the backfield.
Sure.
And that was sort of that was the state championship game that year, pretty much.
Yes.
And we just have to keep playing along. That had to be special for you at that time.
Yes, it was. They beat Hendersonville, like you say. Like Scott says, anytime you beat Hendersonville, but Hendersonville had probably, I would say, you get a lot. These coaches got a lot of memory. I think Wayne and Bill here really remember that game. That's probably a game that you'll never forget. They had a lot of people here. We've had a lot of people at games this year and last year and the last couple of years, but I don't think there's not been many people that's at that game or at the Swain game, but that game had more athletes on that field than any game we've probably ever played. We've had
professional athletes.
Yeah, have professional athletes on that field. I know they had 3 or 4 professional athletes on that field. And then a single A playoff game. And it was something special. And it was a hard fought win. And
I think you had a little state patrolman that played in that game too. Now Jeremy Ledford.
Jeremy Ledford, yeah.
And, I remember y'all telling the story about. He hit Gash one time, but sort of slid down off of him when he hit him, and Gaither looks over at you and says, "Jeremy got gashed." You said, "Yeah, but he'll have to gash him every time."
All right, well, we're going to have to wrap it up here tonight. And again, I want to say thank you guys for coming out tonight to help us celebrate Coach Gentry. And again, on behalf of Team FYN Sports, I want to say congratulations, Coach Gentry, now the winningest high school football coach in North Carolina history. And now don't forget, also on behalf of Team FYN Sports, I want to say thank you to Circuit World of Murphy for allowing us to broadcast here and for always letting us host our shows at their locations. I want to say thank you to Downtown Pizza and Pepsi for being our food and beverage sponsors. Don't forget to follow us on Team FYN Sports on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for updates on the Murphy Bulldogs and all of our other teams that we cover at Team FYN Sports tomorrow night for football and the Andrews Wildcats. Thank you, Scott. And also on Monday morning, live on our Team FYN Sports Facebook page, 10:10 a.m., you can watch me as I host Instant Replay while I'll be recapping these games and many more. So again, thank you so much tonight for watching us, everyone. We'll be back next week. Have a good night.